Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paulina Garrido, and with my classmate Lucas Williamson, we are going to interview Miss Martina Moya. Marty is one of my best friends since ever, I think. And she lived for 6 months in Tarrytown, New York, and she lived 1 year in Edmonton, Canada. She's studying animation, but right now she's living in Chile because of COVID. So let's begin the interview.
Hi everyone. So the first question is a very common topic that people worry about before visiting another country is discrimination. So did you ever feel discriminated for being a foreigner?
I did. It was kind of a complicated thing because they don't really discriminate you, at least in Canada. They don't discriminate you for being from another country because it's very common for them to have people from other countries. The thing that they do really feel kind of shocked about is when you speak Spanish. They have a thing with language that they find it funny, and they will always assume that you're either Mexican or Canadian. Sorry, that you're either Mexican or Colombian, and they will like think of that as you, as your identity, instead of like asking if you're from another country. You could even be from Spain and they wouldn't even guess, or they wouldn't even know unless you tell them. So it was kind of sad for me because I would try to speak in Spanish and people would judge me and will tell me, "Oh, wow, are you like Colombian?" And it would be kind of complicated to explain that no, and that Spanish has a variety of dialects.
But when it comes to relating, like meeting new people, living new experience, what are some difference between Chileans and Americans or Canadians?
Uh, well, when it comes to relating, in the US, you don't really say hi with like hugs and kisses on the cheeks. That's something from us and also from Canadians, but when you know them a little bit more, usually when you say hi is when your hand, you just shake the hand and that's it. And they're kind of cold at first, unless you really know them and they're very close friends or family. They're not that close to you, like interpersonal relationships or anything like that. uh, they can be kind of serious depending on some topics. They're not so like they have they don't really have that kind of light thinking that we have as um, maybe when we joke about ourselves here about our misery. like oh my god, Chile is such a bad country because the president or something like that. They would look at you like really seriously, uh, and they would take it as a very heavy topic like politics, while for us it's just kind of like a funny thing to talk about.
So okay, you must have seen a lot of new things, maybe some good and maybe some not so much. Having this in mind, what was the conduct, situation, or action that you shocked you the most?
I think how they can follow rules and protocols, not in the US at least, because in the US I happened to go through a little situation where a friend went outside during Halloween and she had to run away from a terrorist attack. So I don't think I can really say that for the US, but in Canada, they are very reliable on their rules and they know very well what and what not to do. Especially with COVID, you can really see it because I could go outside at 3 a.m. and you would have restaurants open, they would let you inside, and people would take care of themselves without someone else telling them. And even if you had people that would look at you because you were not wearing a mask, they would very judgmental. So you wouldn't really try and go for that option. You wouldn't really want to be and have a bad impression from other people. So yeah, generally they are really good at following rules.
Well, in Chile, taking care of the environment is something relatively new. And according to what you know and saw, could you tell us what is the mentality of Americans, Canadians about the care of the environment? And what actions do they do to take care of it?
Well, recycling is very common for them. You know that sometimes we have in apartments, we have the option to recycle, like to put a little bag apart. Well, they do that in like almost every house, not only apartments, and they have their own category to be able to recycle cardboard, paper, and all that stuff available for everyone everywhere, or at least most places. So recycling is part of their culture. It's part of what they do, and they don't really think too much about it because they do care about how the country looks and how the country has its own reliable energy. It is a big topic for them, and it is like very kind of important because they have, for example, chunks of cities instead of the entire city altogether. So you would have a little chunk of city and then a lot of forest and then a little chunk of city. So you would think sometimes that you are leaving and that you're going somewhere else when it's actually the same city. But they keep so much nature around them, and they take so much care of it that it's part of their culture and their everyday life.
Wow, that's
So, according to your experience, maybe you notice some aspects about how Chile is seen from another perspective. So, could you tell us what is the vision of the foreign about Chile?
Yeah. Well, they do look at us as, again, Colombians or Mexicans. They don't really think of us of any other country. And most of them, for what I knew, they wouldn't even know where Chile was. I happened to be in a video game club that the champion of the world at some point was a Chilean guy. So they would know what Chile was because of him. But everyone else that I knew, aside from that little video game club, they wouldn't really know, and they would guess that we're somewhere in Africa or something. And they would also think of us as like dark-skinned people in general. So when I would say that I was Latin American, they would look at me and they would be like, "Wow, but you are like pale." And I was like, "Yeah, we do have some people that are pale, like a lot." And they would also think of us as having like no roads and no supermarkets or like malls and stuff. It would be just kind of an empty nowhere, like rucas and like kind of like that stuff. We would have like dirt roads, and we would be like with a little like carreta moving around and all that stuff. We wouldn't be able to like have cars, and when I would tell them that we even had some people with Ferraris and stuff, they would be like, "Wow, you had like cars there! Oh my god!" Yeah, yeah, we do. So they would look at us as kind of a poor country in development that, well, yeah, we are, but we're not that poor and not that much in development. I think they took the concept a bit too far away, and exaggerated it a little bit. But it was fun looking at them and their reactions when you would tell them that we're kind of a normal country.
so basically they think that we still live in the 18th century or we are cavemen.
Yeah. That's kind of their concept that they have of us.
And when you said like they were shocked because you are pale, like I remember a movie, Mean Girls. Do you know it? When there's like a line when like the main protagonist is from Africa and she's white. Do you remember it, Marty?
Oh yeah, I
That's
do.
like
And
kind of the same.
yeah, well, most of those experiences were from the US. Canada was a bit more kind of consistent. They in the review of foreigners, they would assume that everyone from other countries would be different, which was good. It was mostly the US that they were impressed with you being from South America and having like pale skin. I had someone from a class that he told me it is like chemically impossible for you to be pale. And I was like, no, it's not that hard. I live in the South. We have no sun.
So thank you for the interview and for sharing your experience living abroad with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Yes.
for the interview.
Thank you, Marty. You are amazing. Ta-da!
Bueno.